What's cooking, everybody? Dave Mays here with Kinotika, and this is 10 creative uses for the Deity D4 Duo. Now, if you haven't noticed already, I am using the D4 Duo right now as I'm recording this voiceover, and I've got a little Zoom H1 recording straight from the mic. Before we get started, I do want to give a shout out to my friend Jevin Dovey, who has done an incredible comparison with the D4 Duo and the infamous Rode Video Micro. So make sure to check out that comparison video in the description below. The first creative use that I'm going to talk about with the Deity D4 mic is its main use case, which is for vlogging and product showcase purposes. The D4 Duo features a dual cardioid setup with a microphone on front, but what's amazing about the D4 Duo is that it adds an additional cardioid mic on the back that is negative dB softer than the front. How are you able to get two audio sources in one, you say? Well, there's this amazing thing called stereo audio that our cameras have and that our microphones are capable of doing. On the left channel, we have the front cardioid microphone, and on the right channel, we have the back cardioid microphone that is negative 10 dB lower than the front. And if you just want to have the front cardioid microphone and not have both microphones running at the same time, if you're not talking behind camera, you just flip the switch on top and now you have dual mono with this front microphone. If you're confused by this whole left and right thing, just know that all you have to do is convert the left and right channels into a mono mix in your editor, and it makes everything sound normal and you get the benefit of having both microphones. So as you can see here, this is an Olympus 25mm, but that's not just any old 25mm, it is the f1.2 Pro lens from Micro Four Thirds cameras. Now, the reason that I love this lens so much is that it has an f1.2 aperture, which is super fast, and on a Micro Four Thirds camera, it is much needed. So as you can see here, this is the Olympus 25mm. It is an f1.2 aperture, and it is really great. So as you can see here, this is an Olympus 25mm, but that's not just any old 25mm. By the way, you guys can pre-order this microphone right now in the description below. It's only $89, and I highly recommend that you put your order in because this microphone is incredible. Use case number two. There is actually an additional input jack on this microphone, giving you the ability to bypass that back cardioid microphone and use any source that you would like for that input. I just hit the mic. You could use a lavalier microphone like the Sennheiser that I have, which I don't necessarily recommend. I just got it before the Rode Wireless Go came out, so that's all I have. But what you want to do is get the Rode Wireless Go, which has that little clip on it, and you can actually clip it onto the Rycoot mount on this thing, and then you just plug the cable straight into the input, and that gives you a left and right channel mix of a lavalier mic and this amazing cardioid mic on the front. This really cleans up the setup much better than using a cable and having things dangling everywhere. One cable going into the camera like this, and then one cable going into the input using that amazing Rode Wireless Go setup, or in my case, a Sennheiser with some gaff tape. And just like that first tip that I gave you, you can split the audio in post and give your left and right channel a mono mix, making everything sound normal. You have a full lavalier recording and the cardioid mic as well. The third creative tip that I want to give you with the D4 Pro is to use that little knobby knob at the bottom here to organize your cables. Not only can you clamp the cable that comes with it, but you can clamp other cables that you're going to be dangling in here as well if you're using that input source. It just cleans everything up, and they designed it perfectly to clamp your cable nice and neat. This also keeps the microphone from bouncing around too much when it gets too windy. The fourth creative use case is to use this microphone like a boom mic. Get any boom pole, or in my case, a light stand, because I can't find my boom pole. It's lost somewhere in this garage. And use one of the mini adapters that you can use going either to 1/4 or 3/8 to a boom pole, and get an extension cable. Any old 1/8 inch cable will do the trick, that you can buy off Amazon for a very affordable price, and that will give you the extension that you need, and go into a thing like a Zoom H1 or any other handheld recorder, strap it onto a little side satchel, and you're ready to go. The fifth creative use case is ASMR. Because this mic is stereo and it's giving us a left and right channel source, and because the mics are facing out in opposite directions, you can get really creative with ASMR. This is just a little test of the D4 mic in the ASMR mode. How does that sound? The shutter. Does that sound nice? Oh. The cavity. The sixth creative use case is to use this mic with your mobile phone, and in my case, an iPhone SE2. Now, unfortunately, these phones don't have headphone jacks, so you have to use a little dongle that comes with it, and you have to get a special cable or adapter, honestly from Rode, to convert the Deity D4 DUO into the signal that needs to be read by the iPhone. That signal is called TRRS, and what you want to get is a TRS to TRRS cable or some sort of adapter. That way you can plug it into a dongle that goes into the iPhone. Why can't they just leave the headphone jack in there? But it works. Unfortunately, you're not able to get both microphones. It's only able to read a mono signal, so it's only using the front cardioid mic no matter what mode you're in on the mic. But it does work if you need it in a pinch. The seventh use case is to use this for podcasting. Obviously, you can use it in the setup that I'm using right now, where it's just a single person talking into the microphone, and it sounds surprisingly good for the price point. But you can also use this for a dual interview setup for a podcast. It's not going to be perfect, but if you place the microphone in between two people that are sitting fairly close to each other, you can actually get away with recording two people with one microphone. So I'm doing a podcast conversation with myself right now. This is the back microphone and what it sounds like. And this is what the front capsule sounds like. Make sure to keep the back capsule closer to that subject because it's negative 10 dB lower than the front capsule. The eighth use case is to flip the microphone around with the back facing capsule facing forward if you're in a very loud environment, say at a NASCAR event. The cars are super loud, and having a negative 10 dB softer capsule facing front is going to help you when you're in very loud scenarios. The ninth creative use case is to use an H1 or similar audio recorder in between your microphone and the camera to give yourself a backup source when it's very crucial. There's nothing worse than losing your audio if you're doing a very important documentary or something like even this. Believe me, I've been there. If you get an additional cable, plug in the microphone straight into the Zoom H1 and then plug in a cable from the headphone jack of the H1 into your camera, and then you monitor your audio through the camera that should have a headphone jack. Why aren't you using a camera with some sort of headphone jack? And that gives you a nice audio backup in case something serious happens. And yes, I did steal that one from Caleb Pike. Sorry. And the final creative use case that I want to share with you guys is pulling in an instrument and recording your vocals in one scenario. So again, using the dual audio setup with the left and right channel, plugging in either a guitar or some sort of audio interface, or in my case, an iPad with a loop deck, I'm able to actually record music with one microphone, and I don't have to sync anything. It's just one setup going into the Zoom H1 again. It's a really wonderful setup. This is me singing while I play my loops on my iPad. Honestly, I am blown away with the versatility of this microphone for only $89. This microphone is going to completely replace the Video Micro in a lot of people's kits, and I am so happy to finally see this in real life and get some hands-on with it. So thank you, Deity, for letting me have early access to this mic. I am told by Andrew that they will be shipping this mic in Q3 of 2020. Unfortunately, due to all the stuff that's been going on, things are going a little bit slower than they would have liked, but you can put your pre-order in right now for this microphone to make sure that you're first on the list to receive it when it is available. And like I said earlier in this video, make sure to check out Jevin Dovey's video comparing this microphone to the Video Micro from Rode, which is kind of the previous version of this mic. He goes really in depth with his comparison, and I highly recommend you check out that video in the description below. Also, make sure to subscribe to Kinotika. I will be telling the story of how this mic came to be. I was actually in the room when we developed this microphone with Deity. I gave this idea to Andrew, and it was really kind of an amazing process to see this thing come to fruition a year later. So make sure to subscribe to Kinotika to see that video, which I will be posting soon. Once again, I'm Dave Mays. This is Kinotika, and I will see you next time.
D4 DUO, D4 DUO, D4 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 DUO, DUO, Let's go. Singing the song.